of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Big up, happy Monday. How are you doing? Hope it wasn't too mundane. Would hope that you unmundane your Mondays, but how are you doing? I've got a dusty ass microphone over here. Too blessed to be stressed, as always. Hope you are as well. Welcome in. I think this is episode number 107 of these Untitled series. I want to know what the vibes are like. For me, the vibes are always immaculate, win, lose, or draw, but look, sometimes it can be more immaculate than other times. And I really think today's one of those days where it's not as immaculate as I hoped it'd be, if I'm honest. And I'll tell you why. I have reasons why, but we'll get into it. First and foremost, I hope you are well. I hope you were... What's the old saying? I love that saying that Sean Butler from Spurs Talk Show says. Hope you're enjoying yourself with the people you enjoy doing the things you love doing, or something of that rendition. But how are you doing? Welcome in. I hope you are well. I am. Let's find out how the vibes are. I want to know how many people are voted in the poll. I see 13 votes. Right now, everyone's thinking about West Ham is what it looks like. 69%, actually. 64%. Nope, it went back up to 69%. Already thinking about West Ham. That is the right way to think, because honestly, it'll be here, what, Thursday? We play on a Thursday Night Football. Is that what we're doing next? I mean, it would behoove of me as a content creator to have my week planned out. It's really hard to do that, if I'm honest. But look, on Thursday, we do play at 1:15 my time. That's actually quite funny. We play West Ham at home. I knew West Ham was next, and we have Newcastle next. We got two home games. Hopefully, we can, really get behind the boys these next two matches. But look, I'm not here to talk about the next two matches, honestly. I like that y'all are looking forward to that already. I do like that, and I appreciate that from you. But for me, I feel like Ainge changed some things, and then they said kudos to Ainge for changing his style. And it's like, he didn't change his style, he made adjustments. That's kind of how I felt initially hearing. Look, I want to get to the immaculate vibes, but this is not so immaculate. I'm wondering why people are attributing Ainge. Yeah, big up to Chewy. Big up, Rich. Yeah, Chewy is here. Chewy did show up for work today. But I'm trying to understand why people attribute to Ainge making adjustments and tweaking things based on what you've seen in the first half. How that now all of a sudden is abandoning anything, abandoning your philosophy. Look, there's someone on Twitter who said it a lot more elegantly than I can ever attempt to. So I'm going to pull that up real quick for y'all. Simon Humane is someone I've referenced on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And he put it much more elegantly than simple folk like such myself would say. He says, some will claim Ainge made a, quote, pragmatic changes at halftime versus City. He didn't. He made tactical changes to give us better midfield balance, control in the build-up, and stronger outlets to counter City's aggressive and physical press. Same philosophy, better execution. So, again, when we talk about, like I was told, oh, well, you didn't play your brand of football. No, we did. We went in there and we played that, and we were getting torn apart in that first half. Everybody saw it. And Ainge made adjustments. Balanced the midfield. I like that. Control in the build-up. I mean, it's the same damn philosophy, just with different pieces in the puzzle to make things work in a different manner. I don't know, man. I feel like some people are... They want any reason to pull the bed sheets out from under us. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that makes sense, but look, big up everybody. That's kind of what's been weighing on my mind today. I've been with my son, playing with my son. We went on a walk. We did some things. It was a busy morning. And then, I was just listening to Football Terrace, bigger channels and stuff. Just, what's some people saying about Like, what are their vibes? You know what I'm saying? Just because they don't check into the channel doesn't mean I don't want to know what the vibes like. I want to know what the whole of Spurs fan base vibes are like, honestly. Speaking of, big up to Scott M with the double first place prize today. Says, big up Jacob. Hope you have a great show. Big up Scott M, a longtime supporter of this channel. Always good to see you in the house. Big up Drunk Vigo. Says, Jacob still doing the pigeon strut with his snuggie off. Drunk Vigo, you are an absolute clown. Big up Teabag. David Calvino says, evening, Jacob. Gentlemen in the chat, big up David Calvino. Nate Pie, good day. All big up, Nate Pie. Changed my name to make it easier for you, Jacob. It was never difficult. I would just say you didn't like it, so I didn't say it, is what I would say. Big up Terry Windows. Don't you open up that window. Says, evening, Jacob. Good to see you back in the chat, my friend. Long time no see. Still a member. Love to see that. Big up Terry Windows. Good to see you back, my friend. Spurs Psych, hey, Jacob and chat. Big up Spurs Psych. Good to see you again. Lemmy says, can't believe Huddle is still giving coaching advice contrary to Ainge's. Look, I don't know much about Glenn Hoddle as a manager, except for what I seen in that Beckham documentary, and that's pretty shameful, if I must say. Pretty shameful. Shambolic even, I would say. Big up Callum Roche this evening. All Bob Down Under's in the house this morning. Jacob and chat. Beautiful summer morning. Waiting on West Ham. Good morning to those of you down under or in that time zone. Happy Tuesday. You've already made it through your Monday, so good job to that, first and foremost. And then secondly, also good evening to those of you in the UK. It is 11, just past 11 p.m. for those of you who may be tuning in from the UK. Faisal says, yo, I'm kind of nervous versus West Ham. It's a different test from City. Not so easy game. Faisal, what I would say is it's not going to be an easy game. They view this as their cup final, and it's kind of funny, but we got to take it seriously. And if our fight versus City away from home meant anything, I think it's going to make the crowd that much louder at home. There's no way. I know their form. What did they won? 2? They've won 2 and drawn 1 out of the last 3, I think, is the last thing I saw. No reason to think that they won't come out swinging and have some sort of success. Look, they've been pretty all right this year. But pretty all right is not enough to stop Ange Postecoglou, in my opinion. That's just my... Hopefully I will do a show later on in the week, and we'll go ahead and preview that. You know, I like to go back and watch our next opponent's last match in the Premier League to try and get a idea of maybe how they will set up. Because I'm going to admit, when West Ham's on, I'm not really thrilled to watch that. So, can't say I've gone out of my way to watch. I've seen some of, can't even remember who I think it was Everton that they play it. I haven't done my research on West Ham, if I'm honest, because I think I watch more Big Six than I watch West Ham. Big up Rich, big up Chewy and Jacob too. Chewy did show up for work today, by the way. DeFarsher is in the house. Big up Jacob, feeling surprised and happy. Ainge is instilling a belief in a patched up team to get a difficult away point. Big up DeFarsher. How you doing? Callum Roche says they're haters. The quote, can't play a high line with 9 men, naive, be pragmatic. They need to try and make us hide our light. That's what I'm saying. I feel like people have been attributing all these things you're saying right here, Callum Roche, they've been attributing that to us because of jealousy, envy, worry, maybe. I don't know. Howie I says, big up Jacob. Not the most clinical game I've ever seen, but gritty and so much character. Hey, we didn't do the gritty, but we did act gritty. You were damn right about that. Big up Nick Brown. YouTube chat member says, I'm still smiling and looking forward to wet spam. I was going to put that in the poll. Look, we need to get our front foot forward and start thinking about West Ham. But honestly, I may be a little late to leave the party, if I'm honest, because I still enjoyed that. I still think about yesterday. It was a very good time. Hey, big up Chang, gifting 5 United Spurs of America memberships. Big up Chang, my good friend out there. Callum Roche, welcome to the family. Eagle MMA, Bob Down Under, Lisa O, and Donald Dickinson. That's a great name, Donald Dickinson. But big up to the 5 of you. Go ahead and put some dubs in the chat for Chang, gifting those 5 memberships. Big up, Chang. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. It means a lot, honestly. This is your hard-earned money, and you're choosing it to spend it on this channel and to help this thing keep going. Look, I appreciate that. It means a lot. That's something means more than the monetary value. I'll say that much, Chang. And that goes beyond just this. You're always gifting memberships. You're sending me nice little things. I still have it right here. I keep it right here. So big up Chang every single time. Dubs in the chat for Chang. He didn't even say anything anymore. He just busts into the chat, gives some membership. That's what I'm saying. You want to get into the chat as soon as possible. You might get a free membership because Chang out here just like Santa Claus. Just drop. There you go. There's some gifts and then you're gone. But big up Chang every single time. Appreciate you, my friend. Where was I in the chat? Lisa. Big up Lisa in the back. Hey, how you doing? Good evening. What are you having for dinner? My wife and I are going to have, what was it, raviolis? I think she's going to make raviolis. Sounds good to me, honestly. I do have a show later on Staffy TV, American Waffle. The latest rendition of that will be tonight. So we're going to make some raviolis, make it real simple tonight, Lisa. But big up, Lisa. Hope you're doing well. Says changing players doesn't automatically mean changing strategy. But let them talk. We know the truth. Big up, Jacob. Big up, Lisa. I'm glad you know the truth. You know the truth. I know the truth. There is us that know the truth. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, you know. I don't have to say it. And I've been saying this as well about Ainge Postecoglou and his philosophy and the way he's been running things. Like, just because you don't see the vision doesn't mean that there's not one there. And I say that to rival fans or people who are not fans of Tottenham, but they're, you know, giving their opinion on Tottenham. And they tell me, oh, this is what I think, or this is what I see from Ainge, and this is what I think you should do. And it's like, cool, bro. I'm glad you said that. I hope you feel better now that you said that. But for me, I'm glad you're not my manager, because if we would have done all these things that all the people said we should do, we wouldn't have gotten the result I think that we saw yesterday. So, and again, they're going to nitpick what he's doing. They're going to nitpick everything he's doing because why not? They want to build him up to break him down. That's just, everyone loves a good hero to zero story, I guess. It's good for the clicks and such. But let the rivals talk. You know the truth, Lisa. Let the rivals talk. Rich says Ainge is damned either way. He got blamed for not changing against Chelsea, then blamed for changing against City at halftime, which is more of a tweak, as you say. Yeah, man. Look, just because you make adjustments to your philosophy on the fly for a given situation doesn't mean you've abandoned your ball play, your style, your ethos. That's what I find so fascinating about this discussion is how, like, Pep doesn't change playing tiki-taka ball. You know what I'm saying? He's not, whenever he changed what they did in the second half, which was kind of play back and allow us to play more of our style. It gave us more possession primarily. And, you know, just because he kind of strayed away from his philosophy and tweaked what he thought he needed to do doesn't mean that he changed his philosophy all of a sudden. I don't know. I don't even know if what I'm saying makes sense. That's just kind of like my initial thoughts on it. I was just like, bro, you can tweak things and change things. That doesn't mean you've all of a sudden abandoned your style of play. And I just don't understand. I guess it's any stick will do type of mentality. Not real sure. Rich says, I think the biggest change at halftime was mentality and Ainge relaxing the players. Look, I went over some of the quotes yesterday with Kuva, and I went over some with Paul Hotspur Hippie as well. We went over some of those post-match quotes. I loved everything that I heard he said at halftime. He just said, bro, go out there and play some damn football. And if things don't go well, it's on me. It's not on you. So just go out there and do things. And then we saw it. The team started to come alive. Brennan Johnson, 2 shots like within the first 5 minutes from long range. And it almost seemed like he was just telling people, hey, go out there, have a crack. If you see the line, go take it. And I don't know. Like I said, I say this quite often. Ainge, week in, week out, just validates what I feel and think as I go through this process of feeling out what Ainge brings to Tottenham. It really is like, I'm just enjoying the hell out of it, man. Yesterday was so much fun. I cannot stress that anymore. Big up, Ravi. Good to see you in the house. Eagle MMA says, how does Ainge instill a style before Ten Hag? Even thinking about Ten Hag, like, it's so embarrassing. I'm so glad we didn't ever appoint him as our manager. And hindsight's 2020, because I remember in the moment I was pretty upset. I was like, oh, Levy's saying this guy's weird and has no charisma. Look who's talking. Levy should look in the mirror. And then it's like, fast forward a couple years, you're like, shit, I mean, maybe Levy, what was Levy cooking? He may have been cooking something, because honestly, Like, what was Levy cooking when he turned Ten Hag down? What was he cooking? So I'm saying, man, just because we think we know, we don't always know. If you know what I'm saying. Big up Eagle MMA. Question, Jacob. Are Spurs due a decent win under Ainge and feel it's coming? I think it could be West Ham. I think West Ham, we absolutely could go out there and get the W. Why not? I think we have a better chance of getting the W versus West Ham than we do versus Newcastle, if I'm honest. Big up Captain Grandma in the house. Good day, Chumsky. For anybody who thinks Ainge changed his style, they should look at the game analysis by the guy on the 442 channel. Shout out that channel. I mean, I guess, but I don't really know them. But I will look that up, Captain Grandma. Maybe I should have watched that before I did the show today. I don't know. Big up Dermatron with THFC Till I Die. Says big up Jacob. Big up Dermot. How you doing? Jimmy Nibbles says there's a great. Okay, the 442. Everyone's watching the 442. Apparently, I should have watched the 442. Tactical analysis, 15-minute video on YouTube helps explain what Ainge Ball is and how he affected / mix it up versus City. Worth a watch. Very good shout there. That's 2 now, so I will go ahead and look that up. Again, big up Chang for the donation to the channel, gifting some memberships. Everyone's saying thank you, thank you. Yep, I do some EA Sport. I will say this, Ravi, about every time there's been a EA FC stream, it is limited ad monetization. And lately that's been happening a lot because I think someone's very upset with me. I don't know who it is. The YouTube algorithm is upset with me. I don't know what I did. Maybe I didn't invite them over for Thanksgiving. They're upset about it. But every time I do an EA Sports stream, it's like we've reviewed the tape and no, this is not suitable. So it will remain on no ads. This is not suitable for audiences. But usually the live streams that I do, whenever I send them for a review, it does get sent back. But by that time, nobody's even watching it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Basically, once you get that little yellow limited ad monetization, it's a yellow $sign. Once you get that, sayonara. No more ad revenue. Big up Chang says, celebrating my birthday in 1 day advanced here in Southeast Asia on December 5th. Today is my best friend's birthday, December 4th. Shout out for Roz. I've been best friend. We became best friends in first grade, and we've still best friends. I had a very long conversation with him before the show started. So you were just a day after him. Shout out the first week of December, birthday boys. By gifting memberships all week long, so long as Jacob is hosting shows. Have a fantastic end of the year. Look at that. He said he's going to be Santa even on his birthday and dropping a big up Chang every single time. Dubs in the chat for Chang. What a guy. Big legend of the channel here. Absolutely. Need to find some way to thank him for everything that he does. Tracy, big up Tracy. Big up Jacob and chat. How are you doing, Tracy? Good to see you in the house. Callum Roche, happy birthday. Happy birthday indeed to Chang. Big up. Ryan Gloria says West Ham got a busy schedule, 6 games in 14 days. Hey, keep them busy. Keep them busy so they ain't worried about us. Come on now. I'm making pozole. Have you had it? Of course I've had pozole. That is absolutely fantastic. When you have someone who wants to actually make it, it's quite a long dish to make if I'm not mistaken. Like it takes a minute. If I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. I don't know. Do you think Ainge will get any reinforcements in January? Do I think? Yes. Do I hope? More than I think. That's the best way I can answer that. Yeah, big up. Cheers, Chang, every single time. Great support of the channel. Remember to hit those likes and subscribe. Big up, Ravi. Appreciate you. We're hitting a reminder. Oh, Ravi, I just realized you weren't... I just realized, hang on. I just realized you weren't a moderator. All my moderators got deleted if you ain't heard, so I have to like reappoint moderators. But it's y'all chiming in, and I see you, and then I reappoint it. Ainge upsetting the pundits, says Bob Down Under, scaring them that is his style might work in the Premier League, and that he is ignoring their advice. I love that. Hey, he is him. You are not him. We are not him. So let him do him. That's at the end of the day all I can say about it. Faisal says, because I'm watching some fans call-in show, there's Spurs fans reminding me Lo Celso is known as a midfielder who scores goals before. I spent time watching Lo Celso highlights with Betis after that. He scores 14 goals in a season before joining us with Betis. Yeah. again, what I'm going to say about Lo Celso is thank you very much. That is 2 performances in which I appreciate. Let me see 8 to 10 more performances like that, and then I will start to be apologetic, I would say. It's great. 2 performances is great, but 2 performances doesn't erase the years of sloppy work and really where he just looked uninterested. I'm not interested if he's not interested. I'll put it that way. And you know what? He's acting a little bit more interested, so I like it. And he's putting in some performances. Maybe this style of play makes him want to stay. But obviously, you've seen the rumors. Barcelona. If Barcelona comes calling, that's not something you turn down because, to be quite frank, when James Madison's back, when Bentancur is back, Bissouma, where does he fit into that midfield on the bench is what I'm thinking. So he's probably going to jump at the opportunity to go back to La Liga, where I think he has more joy. Him and Brian Hill. I think they both enjoy the La Liga more than they enjoy the Premier League. So that's just my opinion. Big up Talking Ball. Colin says, Big Ange is my thick main. Oh, that's very thick with 2 C's. Very nice. Jacob, did you think when Spurs came back, you could have nicked a late winner? Look, anything's possible. We can always look back with retrospect, hindsight, and say, oh, well, this could have happened at this juncture. If you did this would have happened. Look, people are criticizing Ainge about the Oliver Skip substitution, and some people are saying, you know, I guess it was versus Aston Villa. They're telling me that, well, he kind of abandoned going for the goal and brought on Skip versus Aston Villa, and that kind of shows that he's abandoning his philosophy. Again, people are always going to tell you things, funny things. I'm looking forward to West Ham and seeing Romero back in action. That is a good reminder. Look, we got Kuti coming back. Oh, and I bet he's going to be refreshed, ready to go. This man has been playing a lot of games for a long time. He had a little bit of a rest. That's not too bad. I hope we get a refreshed and revitalized Christian Romero, not a rusty, looking out of form type Romero, personally. I think we'll get the aforementioned and not the latter, but we'll see. Jason Bell, big up. Good to see you here. Ryan Gloria says, Spurs players don't turn their back on Ainge. No, they won't. I think they're all buying in. Did you hear what Ten Hag said when they're asking him about his play style or whatever? He said, I'm not trying to play the Ajax way. I'm not even trying to play the Ten Hag way. I'm trying to play the Manchester United way. And I just thought, like, bro has as much of a spine as a loose leaf piece of paper. And I think that's putting it mildly. Big up Toxic Headshot says, Big up matey, how you doing? Renzo Scalvo says, Marcelo Bielsa played counterattack against Brazil and Argentina, beat them both. Playing attacking football doesn't mean being suicidal. Got to know your enemy. Fair enough. Big up Derek Smith. How you doing? Spurs had 57% possession in the second half. Who outpossesses Man City at the Etihad? Only Spurs under Ainge. I love that, Derek Smith. Big up. How you doing? You know, we were playing on EAFC, the video game, Derek Smith. I know you don't care about it, but we were playing with Plymouth Argyle's kits from this year. And everyone said that they're very sharp kits. I really liked them too. That green and gold looked very, very nice, I must admit. Howie says, do you think, Jacob, if we had squeezed out a 1-0 victory playing Conte ball, it would have been more exciting than a draw playing Ainge ball? More exciting? No. The only thing I think you could say is that it got us 2 more points in this hypothetical situation. But what I would say about the journey through there, it wouldn't have been the most enjoyable. It would have just been like, yay. Much like the 1-0 win with Nuno when we beat City. Off of who? That's right, a Heung-min Son goal. Thank you very much. Jason Bell says 442 is a solid channel even when they're not talking talk. I'll have to check them out and subscribe. I've heard this is like the second or third stream I've heard people mention like checking out 442 and stuff. So definitely have to do that. Ravi says, Jacob, are you concerned if any more players get injured where you might end up by the end of the season? Oh, hell yeah. But I think this isn't a only Tottenham Hotspur problem. Injuries are injuries. Everyone has to deal with them personally. Yep, just watched the 442 analysis. It was spot on. Well, there you go. Derek Smith already watched it. He's here to tell you it's spot on. Big up Philly. Not in Philly is in the house. Big up Jake Kismat as well. How are you doing? Faz Radfar. Big up Jacob. I was almost right in my predictions. City scored 2 more goals than my prediction. Well, technically they scored 1 more goal than your prediction because Sonny scored 1 of them for him. So you were closer to right than I think you believe you were. Yep. Happy birthday, Chang. Indeed. Yeah, we'll definitely see next season. Captain Grandma says Messi loves Gio. I'm sure Kuti loves him. One day, Jacob, you will love him too. We will see. Maybe I'll be eating some humble pie in about 10 weeks. We shall see. We shall see. But hey, if he puts in a shift, if he does what I'm asking, which is do what you've done these 2 games, but do it for 10. And once you do that, then Jacob will start talking to you nicely, because then I'll think you start eroding away at the years of pent up not happiness towards you and the way that you perform for Tottenham Hotspur. And that is a fault of his own and of Tottenham's. So I feel like in some sense it's just, look, maybe I will love him one day. But he's got to, it feels weird saying this, a grown man's got to fucking earn my love. But hey, 2 performances, like I said, 2 performances don't erase the years of feelings of him making me upset. But what it does is it helps erode at it a little bit. So do it for 10, and then hey, you're chipping away a whole bunch at the way that I feel. Big up JC says, big up Jacob, how are you? Good game. Big up JC. Hey, I saw you with the cheeky win over Brighton. Way to take down the De Zerbi, the hipster manager flavor of the month. Big up JC. Come on, Agent Poch. We need you to drop some results. Don't Chelsea play Manchester United on Wednesday? That's going to be a big match. Big up Zef Zerg. Immaculate vibes to you, Jacob. It was my birthday yesterday, so very pleased that the boys gave me a result. My friends organized a dinner party for me and was given a Spurs stadium tour as a present. Come on, you Spurs. Big up Zef Zerg. And happy late birthday to you, my friend. December, like I said I was saying it earlier, someone else's birthday's tomorrow, or Chang's birthday's tomorrow. My best friend's birthday's today. Your birthday was yesterday, so come on, we're immaculate vibes all week, absolutely. So right back at you, Zef Zerg. You're right, Callum Roche. I did love Lo Celso giving Holland the old Casa del Mierda, the old shithousery. I love that. Big up Callum Roche. I did like he dropped him an elbow. He said, hey, excuse me. Hey, I didn't see you there. I kind of did like that. Jacob, do you rate Ainge over De Zerbi? I mean, what De Zerbi's done with Brighton has been immaculate, but I don't think you put De Zerbi in the situation Ainge was brought into and he gets those same results. Look at when you take some of his crucial pieces out of the puzzle and more games on their plate, Brighton are starting to feel the pressure and the weight of trying to fight up in the table while playing extracurricular. I rate Ainge personally for where Tottenham are and what we're trying to do. Absolutely would want Ainge over De Zerbi, 100%. Mine is the 19th of December. Big up Talking Ball. My wife's is the very last day of December, December 31st, New Year's Eve. A lot of birthday love. Happy belated birthday, Jacob. I'm also a December baby, as well as my son, the 29th and the 27th. Not the best week to have a B-day. And yeah, my wife is New Year's Eve. Definitely not the best time. But also, it's always a party on. It's never hard to find a party on your birthday, I suppose. My wife's birthday's tomorrow, mine in 5 days. A lot of birthdays. Hey, y'all squeezing in them birthdays before the year ends. Y'all crazy out here. Y'all moving crazy. They got JC, Lisa's kids, Talking Ball, Faraz, Zef Zerg, Chang, all these, my wife, all these beautiful people with all these beautiful December birthdays. A lot of love in the house. Love to see that. Look, I do have some things I want to get to. We are 30 minutes in. There's over 70 of y'all across all 3 platforms, which big up to you. Happy Monday or Tuesday morning, wherever you may be tuning in from. Or if you're watching this back on playback, big up yourself right now. Please do hit that like. Let's see if we can hit the target, which is usually 100, 150. Yesterday's stream got almost 250 likes, so big up to Footy Judge Mo as well, because he hit us with the raid, sent us about 120 beautiful people that were tuning in, listening. Some were subscribing, some were liking, and it was an absolute beautiful scene to see. But then someone also did unsubscribe a little bit earlier, but that's okay. I don't worry about the people who unsubscribe. I think about those who do subscribe. So real quick, before I pull up the rest of these tweets, I see you smashing them hearts, whoever that was. Keep hitting those likes. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Well, let's see where the poll is at. 59 votes. 37% tied between already thinking about West Ham and Immaculate Vibes, win, lose, or draw. Tied with each other at that 36%. 22% rather says celebrating the lads mentality still. Look, I think that's something that we could still be proud of and something that we could still be happy about, because honestly, watching the highlights, I can't wait to watch the full 90 back, honestly. It's just a fun time, and the boys' vibes are immaculate. Their mentality is immaculate. We go down twice to what everybody said was the shoe-in Premier League champions, the potential and likely candidate for Champions League winners as well. So they're favorites to win two of the biggest competitions that we could ever attain, and they're favorites to win both of those. And we don't have Madison, we don't have Romero, we don't have Van de Veen. We don't have Papa Matessar. What are we doing here? And we go in there. They say, don't play your style. Just like they told us with Arsenal, by the way, going to the Emirates. They said, you can't go to the Etihad playing that. Pep Guardiola is going to absolutely pick you apart. And they did for the first half. But, shout out the goalpost. Shout out the post and the crossbar. Both of them working together in tandem, keeping out Jeremy Doku. Absolute immaculate performance every single time. I have to shout them out. But yeah, man, I just think I'm still so proud of the boys. Jamie Donnelly made his debut. Shout out Jamie fucking Donnelly. Maybe we'll see some more of them. Big up Ren. Come on, you Spurs. Proud of our team. Never give up. 100%. Ren, you're spitting right now. Absolutely. Big up Ash, our United Spurs of America correspondent out there in India. How are you doing? Says, hi, Jacob. Happy birthday to Chang Chin Seong. Big up Chang, my buddy out there in the Asia time zone. How are you doing? Apparently, he sent me something else on eBay, and I just got the tracking for it. So thank you very much for that as well. Derek Smith says, apparently March is a go-to-bed early month. March leading to a lot of December babies here. A lot of December babies. I ain't complaining. Faisal says, your theory was right, Jacob. When Spurs got results, the channels got more views. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that was at least yesterday's story, Faisal. Did get some good views yesterday, some good likes. And I think that was because everyone was enjoying themselves watching what we did. Rivals, too. A lot of Rivals were very happy. Arsenal fans were happy with Tottenham. They said, we did our job. Rivals are saying, we all did our job. And it's actually quite hilarious. Because they're showing us some love, but now they're going to want us to absolutely play like shit again. So it's funny how the wind blows. Ryan Gloria says all EPL teams have advanced to Europe except United. I guess that has to do something with the new terminology in regards to getting 5th place or whatever. Jacob, it's the Sam's doing the Spurs watch along mentioning your channel that's giving you a boost. Well, where are they at now? Oh, they're probably watching his channel right now. So look. Big up to Sam, always shouting out my channel every single time. This is football. Appreciate that. Thank you. You look like you had some drinks last night. You look a little hungover. I don't actually drink alcohol. I'm not hungover. But thank you, I guess, for the compliment. I don't even know if that's a compliment. Good point, lads. Fair play. Hey, big up sub to Typical City. Excuse me. The Mancunian way. I'm going to drink to that. Let me go through some of these things here. Big up everybody in the house. I appreciate y'all being here on a Monday evening or a Tuesday morning for you. Look, I did love this quote. Again, I just want to go over it one more time. For anybody claiming that we abandoned the Ainge style, that we did not do what we went in there with our intentions to do, that we abandoned ship of some kind. We did not make pragmatic changes at halftime for City, tactical changes to give us better midfield balance, control in the build-up. Stronger outlets to counter City's aggressive and physical press. Come on now. Talk to me nicely. Just because Højbjerg came in doesn't mean that we abandoned ship, is my point. Let's go through some of the other stuff that I have saved for y'all. This is completely, I don't even know what this has to do with anything. But I saw it, so I thought I should bookmark it, basically. Denzel Dumfries could sign for Tottenham despite interest from Chelsea, Manchester United. Inter Milan are conscious conscious that he had not signed a contract extension. They're conscious that, what the fuck are they saying? With this current deal expiring in 2025, Spurs are aware that the Italian club are keen on Emerson Royale and may use him in a straight swap. Look, I'm a little afraid of touching any player from Inter Milan because look at Onana. No offense to Onana, but shout out Rihanna, because what is his name? Butterfingers is what I would call him. You think we are Denzel Dumfries for Emerson Royale and a straight swap? I mean, what do y'all think? Is Dumfries going to give us more than what Emerson gives us? Is Denzel Dumfries going to be okay with playing second fiddle? Could Denzel Dumfries fill in and be a center back? I don't know that he could. Jacob threw me under the bus last night on his Sam show. I didn't throw you under the bus, you absolute liar. I said you were my biggest hater and my biggest lover, and that the line between love and hate is very thin. Hey, big up Kuva. Big up Jacob. I rewatched the match, and I'm even more convinced of the tactics than I was yesterday. The rewards outweigh the risks. This was one of the world's best sides, and we deserved our luck. Big up Kuva. Every single time, good to see you here. It's always good to see you here. I told you to hold that. Absolutely, I probably did. Hold that. Absolutely. Everyone, you do have to hold that, actually, Drunk Vigo, because I just remembered the absolute fraudulence. You told me 4 L's incoming. You were wrong. So you do have to hold that, Drunk Vigo. Would you swap Gallagher for your goalkeeper? Fuck no. Vicario? I ain't giving you him for nothing. You can't buy him for 100 mil. Maybe 100 mil. But you can't buy him for less than that. He's way too good. Hell no. I would never swap Gallagher. I don't know who in the world I would want enough to give up Guglielmo Vicario. That dude's a fucking beast. Ash says, one Højbjerg does not make a bus. Spurs fans know defensive football when we see it. We've had 4 years of it. Big up Ash. Absolutely. Spitting facts. Tony Luxer says, big up Jacob. Glory, Tottenham Hotspurs. Come on, you Spurs. We are balling, and we ain't even calling our shots like that. You were being nice. This means war. Okay. Hey, do what you do, but watch my shoes. It's me giving you the boost. I shout you out. That's the spike. Hey, big up Talking Ball. Every single time, go subscribe to Talking Ball if you haven't already. He's the one who's helping the views go up on the channel, so big up him every single time. I'm going to move past this Denzel Dumfries news because I kind of think it's dumb and it's free. This was kind of interesting. Did y'all know that Tottenham have already picked up as many points against the other Big Six clubs this season as they did all of last season? And that is in what? United was 3. Arsenal was 1. Chelsea was 0. But that was still a game. Liverpool's 3. And City. 8 points. 8 points, and we've played 5. So, who's left? Paul did ask this yesterday. Who is left for us to play our brand of football against and prove ourselves? Until they stop saying, you need to play this way, you need to play that way. I'm actually really quite curious to see what the answers are. Cheers, the football makes me happy, and you. Hey, big up, the football does make me happy. Vicario better than Donnarumma. I agree. Bro, I'm watching Vicario every week. Like, this guy can save us in crucial situations. I feel it. And another thing about him, how calm he plays out of the back. Look at how high City's press was. And he was just cool as a cucumber in there, passing it. When I played goalkeeper, hell no. Dude, if I was passing under that kind of pressure, I would probably look like Hugo Lloris. All right? Worse than Hugo Lloris, I should say. Let me put some respect on Hugo's name real quick. But we all know his distribution was pretty woeful. His passing was not great either. And Vicario, with a man, 2 men breathing down his neck, what does he do? Elite passing. He's a sweeper keeper and a fox in the box type little bouncy boy. We need a center back, left winger, and a defensive mid in January, says Avion. Big up Avion. How was Chelsea game? 1-4. Because we got sent off, man, those bookings. I think Cuti Romero really turned it into a barroom brawl. That's kind of all she wrote at that point. That's really all she wrote at this point. Endo is coming for you. I don't know what that means. I mean, the guy scored a goal yesterday against Fulham, but what is that even supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean to me? Also thought of this quote yesterday. I did kind of enjoy it. Ange Postecoglou on how far he can take Tottenham Hotspur says, quote, you know what? Why would I bother putting a limit on it? When I started 26, 27 years ago, if somebody said to you, this bloke's going to end up managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. I love that he said that. After managing one of the most famous clubs in the world in Celtic, he's going to have all this success. You could have said, that ain't going to happen. That's a Hollywood script. So I've learned not to put a limit on where I'm going to end up, and I'm not going to put a limit on what this football club can do. I love that. He just kind of blew the roof off of it and said, talk to me nicely. And that's basically what I say everywhere I go. Anywhere you see me, you know I'm going to say it's time for you to talk to me nicely. It is absolutely time for you to talk to me nicely. We've lost one match against Big Six opponents. We are absolutely cooking, and we ain't even got half of the motherfuckers that helped us cook in the first place. What are we doing here? It's time for people to talk to Tottenham nicely. I just don't understand why some people like, oh, man. Man. Big up Tot Spurs, longtime supporter of the channel as well. Says big up Jacob and all. Jacob, I can mod for you if you're looking for any more. Would be happy to help. Look, I'm not trying to give you a job, but I'm going to give you a moderator just because you've been a member of the Patreon. So you've been around since before the channel was even monetized. So, of course, you get a moderator, Tot Spurs. You want it, you got it. It's like Oprah today. You've been a long-time reporter, you got it. Whoever want it, you can get it. Who said that? If you want it, you can get it. Oh, that's Selena Gomez. Chang says, big up Chang. Chang says, big many thanks to Ash, Callum, Bob Down Under, Jake Kismat, and David for the birthday greetings. Hope each and every single one of you have a grand end to the year 2023. Shout out to December, babies. Faisal says these template journalist questions for Ainge need to stop. It's kind of boring, even for me. What does that mean? Why even for you? But it is kind of boring. Jacob gets no respect. Come on, Drunk Vigo, hit me with some respect. Do you think we will beat Bayern when we play them in the preseason next year? I don't think it matters, but to answer the question, hell yeah. Harry who is what I'm going to say. Ainge is big up Kuva. Hang on, Kuva. I'm going to send you the link if you want to you want to come in here and spit for a little bit before. Come on now, Kuva. You always get a warm seat. A warm bowl of gravy waiting for you, my friend. Says Ainge has literally challenged the entire club to live up to the fans' dreams and expectations. I adore that. No lame excuses and passing the buck. The buck stops where? At the top. And that's where Ainge Postecoglou resides. Big up Ainge. I love the fact that he kind of just blew the roof off the whole thing and said, I don't have any expectations. I don't have any, hey, big up Kuva. He's on the way. Jacob looks his best when he's rocking the Snuggie. You just wish I was rocking the Snuggie because I mean I'll lose. But big up, Drunk Vigo. Make sure you are hitting the like. Let's see what else I have here before Kuva joins. And then we get lost in such beautiful conversation that I forget I have things starred. Look, Dan Kulisevsky, man of the match yesterday from my account and from Sky's account as well. And a lot of the accounts in the chat yesterday. Big up everybody who was here yesterday getting their voices heard. Says Dan on Postecoglou says, I really, really like him. His tactics, his mentality, that's the guy you want to work with. I love exactly his mentality because that's how I want to live my life. We have to grow. But the best thing in life is not to be afraid of anything and just go. Doesn't matter whether you're playing against doesn't matter who you're playing against or what you're doing in life, just go. And if it messes up, it messes up. You did it with your heart. You were not afraid. You're trying to win the game, not trying to lose the game. I love that line so much. You're trying to win the game, not... That's kind of fun. He goes on to say, I love the manager's game plan. It's hard because City are one of the best teams in the world and everything is not perfect, but second half with 10 players out, playing like this is unbelievable for him and also for the team. So I really, really like him a lot in regards to Postecoglou. Says his tactics, his mentality, that's the guy you want to work with. No fear, just go. I'm happy to work with him every single day. Sounds like he's loving the big boss man, Ainge Postecoglou. And speaking of someone who sounds like they're loving Ainge Postecoglou as well, let's welcome Kuva. Kuva, big up. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well, Jacob. It's a good result on a Sunday. You know, good positive sort of performance. Sets you up for the rest of the week, doesn't it? I'm feeling pretty good this week. I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, at least up until Thursday, it gets you. It's got, I think, everyone feeling a little bit more positive about our outlook going and playing West Ham at home, playing then Newcastle just a couple days afterwards. Real quick, Jacob, thank you so much for the first super chat of the day. Says Jacob, hope everything is good. Win or lose, I am enjoying Ainge Ball, and as always, in Sunny, I trust. Jaco, another longtime supporter of the channel. I actually can't mod you from this chat, so hit me with another chat so I can mod you, because you've been a long time mod of the channel as well, long time supporter since before we were monetized, Jaco. So big a shout out to you for being here, and then also hitting us with some more support financially. So first of all, big up, thank you so much for that support. Did it star? It didn't even star. It didn't even auto star it. But big up, Jaco. Thank you so much for the financial donation. Kuva, look, I'm just running through some things here that I found on Twitter, but
Go for it.
I want to ask you a little bit more about the comment you made. You know, the fact that Ainge came here and said it is up to us to live up to the expectations of the fans. Whatever they set their expectations at, it is our job to go and meet and or exceed that. And he recognized that right off the jump. What is it that is just so fucking awesome, man?
It's refreshing, isn't it? Nobody says that. Usually it's we've got to keep our feet on the ground, and you know, we can't get ahead of ourselves. We can't be expected to compete with this club or that club. We're not in a position yet. There's financial limitations or anything. He's ignoring all of that. He's talking from the heart. He's talking like a fan. It's there for the taking. Dream big and you can make it. You might fail. You probably will fail in a lot of cases, but you still go for it. You don't set off at this aiming for just fourth place. What the hell's that kind of mentality? He's saying don't limit ourselves to anything. If we're in a title race, we're in a title race. We go for it. I expect us to be next season as well. This season, obviously, injuries have wrecked things, but looking at those last two performances, I was pleased with what I saw against Villa. Now, that result against City, people pointing out, we could have been thrashed in the first half. Yeah, we could have been, but look at the way we approached it. There was no fear. There was no hiding. There was no backing off and expecting to see out the game and try and get a 0-0. If we'd done that, we would have got beaten, and it would have been a really depressing performance with nothing to take from it. But we just went for it. And sometimes you've got to ride your luck, believe in what you're doing, and grab something out of the game. So that's what we did. It's that bravery that got us the point at the end of the game. The fact that we had that attacking mentality is why we scored the third goal. So I'm not buying into any of this sort of naive tactics and things. When I was saying about I rewatched the game and I was trying to look at very specific things. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at first, why was Bissouma so bad? Why did he make those mistakes and things like that? Then it dawned on me. I'd actually touched upon it when we were talking yesterday. Bissouma was trying to do what Bissouma did at the beginning of the season. And that's when he does get the ball. When he's under pressure, dribble past players. He was brilliant at it at the start of the season. We were all raving about him, saying how great he was. Man of the match performances. All that happened yesterday is he misjudged when to do it. And it didn't come off. A few moments before he'd lost the ball, he did it in another area of the pitch, and he did get away with it. He did dribble away from players. And you saw that little flash of the old Bissouma. So I think you've got to stick with these things. You're going to get mistakes. We will have more mistakes. We'll give away some more silly goals as well. That's just the nature of the game. High risk, high reward. But it's the attitude that's going into the players that is coming to the forefront now. I say that because I looked at when Skip came on. How many times in the past has Soliver Skip come on and we think, oh, that's it, the game's pretty much over here. We're just going to sit
That's what they're saying. That's what they were saying versus Villa. Kuva was that.
Yeah.
Oh, when he brought Skip, I'm actually gonna pull it up real quick just so I can see when exactly it was versus Villa, because today I've heard on some people bring up the fact that he brought Skip on versus Villa and then he brought Skip on versus City, and it was just like at that point everyone's thoughts. It was the 71st minute. Oliver Skip came in for Brian Hill, who played 70-something minutes on the day versus Villa. Let me see what happened after that. Nothing happened after that. We just saw the game out, and that was kind of it. So I can see why people. It's easy correlation to draw, right? Skip comes in, nothing happens. But yesterday, that wasn't really the case. Now, was it?
That's it. That's that mentality change we're talking about from the previous seasons. Every player on the pitch, whether they're at the back, whether it's Emerson Royale struggling on the ball, and he was struggling, let's not deny it. When we're trying to build out from the back, the first idea is to find a way to get the ball forward, launch an attack from wherever you are. Sometimes you take a risk doing it. Sometimes you beat your man to just get that extra yard of space, take a player or two out of the game. Bissouma got caught out doing it, got slaughtered by everybody for doing it. I was harsh on him at the time, saying sometimes you just got to take that simple pass. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, no, keep doing what he was doing, because more often than not, if he had got away from that pack of 4 players, he would have taken 4 players out of that attack, out of the team on launching our attack there. It would have been a brilliant move. And like I said, he was doing it earlier in the season on a regular basis of the games. He was amazing at it. When we saw Skip come on, and I was the same as everybody else, I was even typing in, oh, well, looks like we're giving up on the game now. But he did surprise us. And what did he do? He did exactly what Bissouma was trying to do. Instead of looking for the simple pass at that one point, he took his player on, beat him, and then launched that attack to get us a goal. It's going through to the players slowly but surely. Some of the other tactics as well. I've heard who was it getting criticised? Lo Celso. People saying, "Oh, I was just a bit disappointed with Lo Celso dropping so deep." At the time, I thought, well, yeah, he was dropping deep. But then I thought, what did Maddison do earlier in the season where we're getting pressed very high up the pitch by Bournemouth and they were committing men forward? Maddison also dropped deep. It's so he could collect the ball there, add numbers to the back there to beat that press. Unfortunately, Manchester City are damn good at pressing, so it didn't really work that well for us. But the idea was the right one. What it did do, though, was as soon as Lo Celso dropped back into the defensive third, who came with him? Rodri did. Rodri's their holding player. That's their anchor man midfield. So then who was getting on the ball more? You could get Kulusevski was getting into space there because there was a big channel in the middle of the field there where the likes of Rodri would normally be. We'll get some joy there. Sonny was operating well in there. So was Kulusevski. We were trying to get Brennan Johnson away a few times. It wasn't working a lot. Manchester City had their amazing period of play in the first half where they could have scored a few. Without that, I mean, they're a great side, let's face it. But you look at the tactics. Rodri pulled out of position, us creating the spaces up front. There were little signs there that we would be able to hurt them, and we did. Now, second half, Hill, who obviously hadn't done anything, they pulled him off and Højbjerg on, and you're thinking that's quite a defensively minded sort of substitution. But what did we do? Højbjerg became that man who sat back in our own half, created the extra man to beat the Man City press. And we got 57% possession. That's not a coincidence. That is us adapting. That's us making the difference to the overall team. Ange's, so-called naivety paid off in that second half. We out-Man City'd them.
You brought up Ange's naivety. I want to ask you something as a resident in the UK. Is this something that y'all just love doing? Building somebody up like Beckham? A prime example of you build him up, make him this hero, and then one fucking mistake, and all of a sudden it's the angry mob mentality, and you build him up almost to break him down. Do you think that could just Ainge is not immune to that sort of treatment type of thing, or why this naivety? But it's not just pundits like on Sky, so I know it's not a paid agenda. It's legitimate, even just casual people such as myself or other content creators of other clubs. Like, they go places and they say Ainge is naive. Would have. I mean, they've called him an idiot. They've called him so stupid for this. And honestly, like, this is really harsh for a guy who's literally getting his feet wet and stomping around in the mud. And to me, the mud wasn't here because he got here. The mud was already here when he arrived. And now he's figuring out how to navigate it. So for me, I just kind of think like, y'all some salty ass motherfuckers. Y'all just wish you had Ainge is kind of what I'm thinking. Like, y'all hating on mine so much, it makes me think you jealous. You know what I mean? And then they say, oh, well, he's just a media whore and he's just a PR merchant and et cetera. He's good day, mate. And then everyone loves him. And it's just like, it's not that simple. I know that from my perspective, it's not that simple, but rivals try to make it like so simple like that. And yeah, man,
you know who else we heard this sort of thing from about as well? Pochettino. Heard it about Harry Redknapp too. You know, this naivety. No, it's not naivety. It's a way of playing. There's risk reward to it. We're playing a very aggressive sort of game, and it's the mindset more than anything than the actual tactics, because we have been changing the way we do things, and we did do things differently against Man City. The trouble is with Man City is it's Man City. Literally, this team that's won 22 out of the last 24 home games. I mean, if it was all down to just this change of tactics got you a point against Man City, nobody would ever lose that. They do, because they're bloody brilliant at doing what they do. So we did ride our luck, but we did also find a way to cause them problems. And there's no bigger problem than letting in 3 goals in your own backyard against a team that's missing some of their biggest name players. Okay, so they had De Bruyne out. Of course, that affects them, but they've got a squad with a lot of talent in it. We don't. So
look at they're missing another starter in John Stones, and they have a Kanji, another guy they spent I think 50 million on from Dortmund when they signed him to be just a backup. 50 million on a backup. I mean, I know we did spend 60 on Richarlison. He's essentially a backup, but I think that's kind of
Gvardiol 90 million. He doesn't play every game,
and they put him in there at left back because who's their go-to left back? Wasn't it Aki? He got dunked on by Decky in the 90th minute. So like, I don't know if it's 90th.
Yeah, I mean,
minute.
they regularly play the 3 at the back, don't they? The sort of, let the midfield and forwards get on with it.
Oh, excuse me, it was the 90th minute. It was the 90th minute when Kulusevski absolutely dunked on him. Honestly, going back to the vibes of the day after for me, Kuva, like, I was watching a little edit that someone put out on Twitter, and it was Kulusevski dunking on him, and then he spun Aki mid-air like a little, oh, look at that. Dunking on, oh, look at that. I'm not even moving, and it's giving me these animations. I don't like that. Kulusevski absolutely dunked on him and then hit him with the LeBron James celebration. To me, Kuva, honestly, that's as good as a cup of coffee. That's as good as a shot of espresso right there. Just watching those highlights back, watching him dunk on him, and just went over to the traveling away crowd, and man, just absolute scenes. Absolute scenes. So that's why I guess I'm not too much like mentally looking forward to West Ham, I suppose. Big up Mud says big up. He's in the house now. Ren says it's a cultural thing that we cut down people who get too big for their boots. Very different to the U.S. when it comes to success. But Ainge would be used to it. And I think that is true. I've heard that as well. I remember when he was starting to do good for the Australian national team, they put him on the Australian national news and tried to gas him. They tried to gas him up. And he was just like, I ain't having it, you absolute frauds. And I kind of liked his bite. A little bit younger, more sprightly looking, but I still like the bite. With the old grizzly dog, he's still, he ain't lost his bite. It's still in there, It's just
absolutely
more calculated.
He's just learned where to bite and how hard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. But it is a cultural thing. We always do it. Bigger player or manager up, then just burn them down. We've always done it. The Australians, I think, quite used to that sort of thing as well. I remember, especially as an Englishman, we're more used to the sort of cricket side of things, and the Aussies against England was always such a big thing with the Ashes. And you'd see it with players there. If they're not performing, they get slaughtered in the press on either side. And it's always been the same. It's a big deal. sometimes it must just be slow news day for them, and they'll just pick somebody to tear down for the fun of it. It gets people reading. I think we like it. I think at the end of the day, we've always had this thing for the underdog above everything else. So anybody that is doing well becomes public enemy number one. You go for the ones that aren't winning at the time and back then. You're right. It's different in the US. You tend to celebrate people that are really doing well at something, pretty much as it should be. You'd think. I mean,
sometimes I would say they give too much praise to someone doing maybe not enough. I would say here in America, we are very much the antithesis of kind of what we're saying there. I think that, like, even in American sports, there's the coach for the Miami Dolphins, because he wears fucking Jordans on the sidelines. Now everyone's like, he's the best coach ever. I love him so much. Oh, what did he have for lunch in 2013? It's like, bro, no one cares. I don't give a fuck about this dude's shoe game.
Perhaps it's changing. It always used to be the impression I got. Somebody's top of their game in the US, they're just celebrated for it. It's like, I'm the best. Tiger Woods being a prime example.
But look how quickly they were to take him down when they found out, oh, he is a human.
Yeah. There you go.
They love a success story just as much as they love a success story that has turned into a disaster story.
Yeah. So that I think that's the same worldwide almost. It's very difficult to maintain your love for somebody when they've fallen off their perch at times. Then it becomes more about a character thing rather than a iconic, legend of a sport. Yeah, strange. Different times nowadays, that's for sure. You back in the days with football, terraces. The longer further back you go, I'd say the more forgiving crowds used to be, but there was always that bit of oh, come on, you're rubbish. Then they score and it's like, yeah, you're the greatest. It was like this instant thing. It wasn't like this vendetta that went on for weeks against players. It was all forgotten one week to the next. Nowadays, everything under the microscope, all over social media and media or any kind. Every single mistake highlighted. It's like unless somebody's perfect, they're going to get huge amounts of criticism. It's a really difficult place to be for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, speaking of difficult places to be, potentially Ivan Perisic, I don't know where he is. I don't know. It's probably not difficult because he got a lot of money and he could probably afford to be at a very nice place, but maybe difficult because he's not on the pitch in a mental sense. He shouted out Dan Kulusevski on Instagram, said, very good. North Macedonia, keep it going. I don't know why why that flag logo. He said bravissimo. I think that means bravo.
Well, surely that's going to be the Croatian bit, isn't it?
No, that flag looks like North Macedonia. I don't get it.
Not sure of the reason for that. Oh, his parents are North Macedonian. Jimmy Nipples say that would make sense then.
Oh, who would have thunk? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't. But there we go. Anyway, yeah, interesting.
They migrated to Sweden. Okay.
It's kind of good though. Although Perisic, we're kind of resigned to it being his, the end of him for Spurs.
Yeah,
but he's still showing the interest. That's always good to see.
Yeah, throwing some love there. Okay, I like to see it as well. But look, just so you know, it is a LeBron celebration. But I remember he started doing it in Miami whenever he was like at the peak of his game. And I absolutely hated the fucking celebration, but it was low key. I was like, damn. And when I played basketball, I caught myself doing it a couple times. It was like, it's actually kind of a really cold celebration. And to see Kulusevski, it wasn't like he just tapped in a goal and then did the LeBron. He actually dunked on a motherfucker's head. He took Nathan Ake and spun him around like he's one of them show poodles at the dog show. And he's like, okay, now show everyone your whole behind. And that's what he did. He turned Ake around like it was a damn, who sang that song? Turn around every now and then I get. I want that song with Nathan Ake just doing spirals in the air, because honestly, he dunked on his fucking head, hit him with the LeBron, which is what he would do when he dunks on somebody's head. So honestly, I'm still loving the celebration.
It's that old phrase, isn't it? He wanted it more. It was just that level of determination that outstrip what the defender can do. Actually, pretty difficult, to be fair, for defenders in those situations, because if the forward's running in, he's got all the speed, the momentum. Defenders are there on the spot. You can only jump vertically. You're not going to meet it with the same kind of force.
As
So,
we say kindly here in the States, get wrecked. That's
yeah,
what I would say.
yeah,
Get fucking dunked on, my friend. You standing in the paint looking like a traffic cone. Guess what? We're going over your head. And that's what Dan Kulusevski did. I love the photo. It's actually so icy of a photo.
I think it was fitting for him to get that goal as well, wasn't it? Out of everybody on the pitch at that point, Sonny had already got a goal, done his bit.
You got a hat trick of contributions, technically.
Yeah. Kulusevski. Yeah, it was good to see that. He needed a goal. He needed a goal really badly as well. No better place to do that.
Technically, he always scores at the Etihad. Since he's been with Tottenham, he's always scored there.
Just too easy for him, isn't it?
They call it the Dekihad now. Very interesting name. But I love the celebration. I wonder if LeBron's going to respond. I don't think he responded to Benteke whenever he did it. But also, I thought this was important to note. Jamie Donnelly is officially the 880th player in the history of Tottenham Hotspur. And now he gets his legacy number 880, the latest debutant of Tottenham Hotspur. Absolutely immaculate to see. Congratulations, Mr. Jamie Donnelly. Let me make sure I'm following him on Twitter. Might have only come on for a tiny amount of time, but it's still going to mean the world to him. Yeah, and I mean, think about it. Like,
it also means that Angie's saying, you're in the squad, you've just got into the pitch at the Etihad. This is what you're looking to do, so keep doing what you're doing. You will get your chances.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that part, because for so long, Kuva, I have wanted to see a clear pathway from the academy to the first team. Reward the kids who are exceeding expectations at the academy level. Reward them with the opportunity to just fucking see what they can do. You know what? And the fact that he just came on, he was on the pitch for that equalizer.
Yeah.
Like, however, no, he wasn't. He came on afterwards. I thought I saw a photo of 58. Who was that? No, I'm tripping. I just looked at it. I'm wrong.
It would have been the dying seconds, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was 90 plus 6, I think, is when he came on. So I'm absolutely waffling. I thought he was on I thought I saw his the number 58 or whatever. I thought I saw it on a photo of Kulusevski and Brendan Johnson. It must have just been at full time.
Perhaps he was warming up or something on the touchline at that point, and
just a perfect, yeah.
And he just maybe it happens.
Well, so he wasn't on the pitch for that, but you know what he was on the pitch for? The final whistle. And what else? I think this is why it could be a good thing that he did get to make his debut. Is like, look, you made your debut. Now next time it's going to be your home debut, and if it is, a couple more minutes, I think it's good to let them feel the temperature of the water before you really dunk their head under it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we're doing. Slowly ingratiate him. We are in a position where we are going to have to rely on these young kids in some facet at some level in positions, right? Because we're going to be anything happens to any positions, more youngsters are going to be making the bench. And, I just think, hey, at least this is one. He made his debut. And now let's see if he can get a couple more minutes under his belt.
I don't think Ange is against some of the youngsters coming on, but he's going to have to gauge it when he thinks they're ready. And obviously, he thinks some are a bit further ahead than others. I mean, clearly, Veli's coming on in previous matches, so he's obviously got a little bit more faith in him to be able to hold his own. But you've got to be careful with some players. We're not going to know the temperament of some of these youngsters when it comes to a match day in the first team squad. It's a massive step up from under 21s. It really is. And a lot of players do not make the grade. We've seen it tons of times ourselves. So I'll just trust Ange in his judgment on things. Some people aren't going to like it. I mean, I don't understand it sometimes when Skip comes on. And I think, wow, the only thing I can put it down to is we need somebody with a lot of energy to terrier likes or chase the opposition down and to see out a game. But sometimes it might just be we've got no choice. We need fresh legs on, players are in risk of further injury, having to play this very aggressive style of football. I disagree when people say we need to ease off and play a lot more conservatively because we're lacking numbers. I think this is when you test yourself to the max, going for it. You keep going with this system. We're implementing a new playing style, and we're going to have bumps along the road. We said that at the start of the season. We've had a few now. We're just coming out now, and even mid bump, we got a point at City. It's great stuff. Being brave, you can't be brave just some of the time. Be brave all of the time. I'm so behind Ange. I'm so behind what he's doing, and the attitude of these players. I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it.
I love that, Kuva.
Yeah, the next couple of years, it's just like it can't come fast enough.
I just want to keep seeing
players coming in. Yeah.
As much as I'm excited to see the rest of how the season pans out, I think I'm more excited to see what we look like at the end of next summer, because we've gone through January. Now we've gone through, that'd be 2 more windows of Ange Postecoglou saying, "You're a fucking loser, get out of this club," or "You're my guy, get in here." And then let's see what we can really build. Big up THFC Till I Die for the €99 super sticker. And it is a smiley face with some sunglasses on. Big up, Dermot. Appreciate the donation to the channel, my friend. Big up yourself right now. Jimmy Nibbles says, question, do you think Ainge will take the FA Cup seriously, or is his aim top 4 the priority? I'll throw it to you, Kuva. What do you think? We drew Burnley. We took care of Burnley very easily earlier in the season.
I think gut feeling for me is priority is going to be the league. That's the same for every manager, I would have thought, because that's where the money is. That's where if you're going to look to rebuild, and it's going to cost a lot of money. We need Champions League at the moment. We need it more than we've ever needed it, because money's scarce. It's huge money getting the Champions League points. Basically £1 million per point you earn in the group stages. That's huge money. It's you get qualified for that, you're getting very, very large, substantial amounts. Now, if we miss out on that, that's a player or two maybe. It's big. It's a big deal. It's not just the pulling power for other players, but so I think it's a priority is going to be the league. Unfortunately, that's just the sign of the times. The domestic cups have lost the fantasy sort of appeal they used to have in previous years. It's still great to win it, of course, as fans. But the reality is, chasing money, you've got to have that high league position no matter what. Are we going to have enough players back from injury and suspension in the new year to chase both the FA Cup and the league? Hopefully we do, in which case we'll see strong teams we're putting out. And maybe we do have a little bit of a run there. That's the hope. But if we're down to skeletal crew as we are at the moment, I can't see us really pushing hard for trying to win an FA Cup and, seeing the league games continue to slip away. It's an important season in a lot of ways for us, but I think just finding that level of consistency is the most important one right now. Cups would be a great bonus. I mean, if we managed to just have an amazing cup run and win an FA Cup in his first season, Ange is instant hero amongst the fans. But it's going to be tough.
I just thought about, as much as I would love it, the one drawback, and it's a very minuscule drawback, right? So don't put too much stock in it. But the one drawback I think to be, if we did win the FA Cup in his first year, they'd be like, well, Arteta did that. Arteta won an FA Cup in his first year too. And it's like, I feel like they would immediately, while that will be so quiet in comparison to me celebrating with other Spurs fans that we just won the FA Cup. When is the last year we won the FA Cup? Because I know we always,
1991.
Bro, I was 1 year old. Maybe 1 year old or approaching 1 year old, because I was born in late 1990. So yeah, not great.
Yeah, it's a very, very.
I was actually like 3-4 months old, because if we would have won it in like April or May, right? That's like when you won it. Yeah. So I would have been like 4 or 5 months old. I have lived an entire existence.
This is the thing a lot of our younger fans probably aren't aware of. The FA Cup used to be considered our trophy. Back in 1991, we'd won it 8 times, where it was like record amount.
Because we won it like year after year, and then we lost the final and then win it the next year too. It was like,
yeah, in a rapid succession. We had a sort of decade between 81 and 91. Won 3 FA Cups, final in another one. That's pretty good in a 10-year period for any club.
I'll bite your hand off for that, for 3 FA Cups in the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's difficult now. We're in this situation where we just haven't got a squad to maybe challenge for both. I think the thing with mentioning Arteta winning the FA Cup in that first season, you could argue that's what helped him keep his job with 2 8th place finishes. If he hadn't won the silverware, imagine the pressure that would have been on him at that point. It was bad enough as it was. So it does have a positive effect for managers and players alike. Gives you a little bit of belief when things at times are hard. And even if you're not performing brilliantly in the league, you can still look at that cup win and think, that was something. That was worthwhile.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to
look at West Ham fans
about that, because I would have loved to have won the FA Cup and finished 8th that season like they did.
Imagine but hey, what if we finish 7th and we still win the FA Cup? That's what I would love to see.
I'll
take that. I'll take that, yeah. I think that's Conference League, because you won the FA Cup automatically. So even if we didn't make a Europe spot, we still get Conference League if you win the FA Cup. And you know what? I think in the first year that'd be a very great little landing pad, and then somewhere to jump off of and hopefully attain more in the following year. But a trophy, nonetheless. Talk to me nicely every single time. My tits will be out. I'll put it that way, Kuva. Tits out, full force. No shame either, because we won a trophy, and I don't give a damn. I mean, fly to the UK like just for it. Yeah, I'll be running through the streets of London greasier than a Adama Traore arms. You can bet that. Dan Kulisevsky, I almost had a perfect segue when you were like, how do we respond when things are tough? And Kulisevsky, speaking of responding when things are tough, says, quote, "We proved we could play against anybody without a lot of good players." Now that is kind of hurtful, I think, if you're his teammate and you're like, "Hey bro, we did it." And he's like, "Yeah, we did it," and you're shit. It's like, damn. Thanks, bro.
I mean, you can choose to read it that way, or you can just say he's also bigging up the quality of the players that are out. So
yeah, I guess so. If I'm Madison, that's how I'm reading it. But if I'm Emerson Royale, I'm like,
if you're Man City and people say, "Oh yeah, but they're missing Kevin De Bruyne," are you thinking, "Oh, does that mean I'm shit?" No,
have you seen Emerson Royale's Instagram? Yeah, probably not.
I haven't, but it's always funny.
He's been posting so many photos of let me find him real quick. He's been posting so many photos of him versus Holland, and I love it so much.
Like the kids kept saying, everything about Emerson Royal I love. I just wish he could play football.
Oh, did he delete some? I think, or they may have expired by now, some of them, because they only last for 24 hours. He posted a whole bunch of him like smacking Holland in the face, and yeah. Wait, oh, here it is. Here's his post. Good game today, boys. You can't see that. Hang on. Bear with me now. There you go.
There we go.
So he's smacking Holland in the face, and then it's him and Holland again. Him and Holland again. And there's Julian Alvarez, World Cup winner. He's dribbling past him there. Look, tactically chose these photos to post, and honestly, shout out Emerson Royale.
One thing that can't be taken away from him was it was up to him and Ben Davies to stop Haaland, and he didn't score.
Look at that right there.
Yeah.
Did Haaland score on this? No.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter how difficult. That brings me to another point as well. Ben Davies, I thought he was one of our best players, and he didn't get enough credit at the time. You looked at the way Emerson Royale was struggling with building out from the back. Ben Davies was actually quite assured. Of course, we're getting caught out. It's Man City. You're gonna concede some chances. All teams do. Against them at the Etihad, there isn't a single team out there that doesn't concede chances to them. Liverpool got away with a snatch and grab the week before. So instead of picking out, things like, oh, City could have got this, could have got that, better to pick out City didn't get this and didn't get that. And you know what? Players played, some of these players played their hearts out. And I think it helped us. It helped us. Emerson Royale, what I do like about him is he's got a first-class attitude to everything. He will run his socks off for you no matter what. I think he's popular with his teammates, isn't he? You can kind of get why. He's a really, really enthusiastic sort of player. I think I've worked out who he reminds me of. The Garfield cartoon. He's Odie. That sort of really chirpy optimism at times, and he'll just run for you. He'll throw him a stick, he'll go for it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I just think it was summed up that sort of, we're just going to give it a go. Bravery, play it anyway. You can't play out from the back, try it anyway. Go for it, Emerson. Just see if you can get the grips with it. Second half, he was a lot better with it. He got a little bit more help as well, but that was due to Højbjerg coming on, and the fact that Rodri decided he can't keep pushing forward and leaving that space. So we were a
great point. Well, real quick on Ben Davies, Rich has a great point. It says on Lo Celso's goal, Ben Davies made the clearing header that set up the move that created the second goal. So there are aspects to Ben Davies, and I think everybody, whenever you're like, if you could get rid of one, Dyer or Davies, and you have to keep one, it was always, I guess we'd keep Davies because he at least offers something. While it may not be enough through what we're trying to accomplish, he offers you something. And when you compare him to the likes of someone who offers negative something, it's a pretty easy answer in my opinion. So love to see that. Now, I do have some more things I want to run through before we end off the show. I've got this pulled up here. Honor, commitment, perseverance, attitude, talent, work ethic, passion, leadership, loyalty. Money cannot buy everything. And who do you think that they're talking about here? No, it's not Emerson before anyone claims it's Emerson right now. It's Heung-min Son.
I did it too quick. I was going to say that. I'm not.
Oh.
It is though, isn't it? We mentioned it yesterday. His own goal. Why did he get the own goal? Because he was putting himself on the line. He was trying to be the captain. He was trying to help the team out in every single way he could. Yeah. He ran his socks off. God knows how much ground he covered yesterday. It was unbelievable. It was so unfortunate he got that own goal. He didn't deserve that.
No.
That could have happened to absolutely anybody, though. But he tracked back. If he hadn't have made contact, there was a City player there that would have had a free.
If he wasn't there in that position, it was the next person in line, which was a City. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. I love him. Money can't buy everything. Can't buy loyalty. Can't buy honor, perseverance. Look, this guy never fucking quits. I see him running in the second half still with that full sprint out. The keeper standing there with the ball. I'm chasing his ass down. We're down a goal. They're trying to slow things down a little bit. The high press starts with him, and he fucking brings it. And I think we move how he moves. If he's fucking bringing it, Hill, while he was like a chihuahua trying to get at the ankles of a Rottweiler, he was still running around and putting his body out there. While it was a futile attempt in the end, thank you for that, I suppose. But I will say again, thank you, Brian Hill, for that first goal.
Bravery by Hill to actually do that turn.
The little pirouette with the ball right on top of our own box, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what comes from manager. The manager. That's what we're talking about when we're saying Ange ball. It's having that confidence to do it. And again, it brings me back to Basuma with that mistake. The more I thought about it, the more I thought.
But look at this.
Oh, we want him to keep doing these things.
Look,
it's going to come up.
You're talking about the mistake. This is what a captain does. You put your arm around the man. You tell him it's going to be okay. He's very clearly upset. He's shaking his head. He's very distraught. He's not happy with. I love that. This is the reaction, right? It's a little bit of love, and this guy's going to be harder on himself than I think anyone in the locker room will be, and that's good. I need to see a response from Basuma. Yesterday, I thought he had a very good spell of 20 minutes. We kind of talked about this yesterday, right? I felt that there was in that second half, from the start of the second half to up until he gave the ball away, I think it was about 25 minutes or so.
Yeah. I think it was that increase in his confidence.
He was just like, I'm going to go for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to take that away from him. I'll prefer him to be encouraged to do what he was doing. As said earlier, he was doing this at the start of the season, and we were raving about it, saying best performance ever, man of the match contender, week in, week out. So if we've learned anything from the last 2 seasons, look at what was happening with Sonny last season. Look what's happening with Basuma, Sarr, Porro. Look at the abuse or the downtrodden comments and people were throwing about. And I remember us in particular having the conversation on your show, Jacob, about Sonny, saying if they're off form, you look at what they've done for you in the past, realise the player you've got there, and you stick with them. You show them some faith. They will get their mojo back. They will get their form back. We're seeing it this season. We're seeing it with Basuma, Son, Porro especially, I'd say. And it pays off. Know what you've got. If you've got a quality player there to start with, you can do something with that. Unfortunately, we also have some players that probably aren't the required quality or physique.
Callum Roche makes a very good point about Basuma, because he was starting to up. I remember I said this yesterday. I literally had the thought in my head, wow, I'm going to have to mention how Basuma's actually turned this half around. He's starting to put in a really good shift now. And I was almost like, now he's looking like the Basuma we were falling in love with in the first 8 matches, because he was doing those things that made him so influential in those matches. And it was, Callum Roche says, imagine he nutmegs Rodri there, we break and we score. And on any other day, that could very well have been the case. But it is Rodri. He is a world-class DM. Not often you're going to nutmeg a guy who's fucking world-class, but he almost did. And it's that thought for me that to go for it.
Like I said earlier, you saw Skip do it. It worked there. Got a goal out of it. That's something you wouldn't expect from an Oliver Skip from seasons ago. Just that little bit of confidence, belief in yourself, change the game, do something that gives you the edge. That's what Ange is all about. It's take the chances and be positive with it. Take it on yourself to think, how are you going to get the ball forward quickly, accurately, hurt the opposition? Don't worry about this, passing it backwards and sideways constantly, unless you have to. First thought should be attack. That's what we should be seeing. And it was just going to get better and better and better. And these last 2 matches have convinced me of it more than ever, because we have been missing some of our best players. And we've still come out with a brand of football worth watching. City, of course, they dominated for large periods. It's Man City. But look at it overall. Look at the fact that we expected them to create chances. Nobody would have come out and said, I think we should be able to shut them out and they'll have no shots at goal or something like that. Liverpool couldn't do that. Why should we? And they're at almost full strength. So the very fact that we're sticking with our guns, being brave, I genuinely believe we deserved something out of the game yesterday for that, because the tactic was there to just say, look, we're going to concede some chances. We're playing one of the world's best teams in their own backyard, and we've got problems of our own. Just chance your arm, show some bravery, belief in yourselves. You could get something out of it, and we did. And I think we deserved it. I really do.
Yeah. The more I think about it too, we almost deserved to win.
Hell
the
yeah.
way we hung in there, we were getting
did them a favour with that stoppage.
Yeah.
Because Vic would have rushed that, smothered that. We would have hit them on the counter.
Break. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hotspurs says City 55% possession, Spurs 45. Not many teams do that to City. In the second half, I think we had 60%, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, I got the numbers here.
I think that was roughly the second half before percentage. First half, we were only at about 35%.
Second half, we had 54%.
Yeah.
In the second half, we had 54%
57,
possession versus Manchester City.
Yeah.
Wow. What absolute beast we are. And we did that on fucking one leg, one arm tied behind our back. Kuva, wow.
And changing the tactics without changing the attitude.
And philosophy. Remember, that is, we can't, I have to go back to the initial thing that was so important. I think that some people are going to claim that Ainge made pragmatic changes at halftime versus City. He did not. You absolute frauds. All right? Anyone saying that, they're talking. They ain't thinking. They're just talking. They're just like, well, he didn't do what he did the first half, therefore he changed his philosophy. I'm here to tell you, you don't change your philosophy. Like a restaurant doesn't change just because they put some new menus on the new items on the menu. That's what I'm trying to say. He made tactical changes to give us a better midfield balance, control in the build-up. That's the Højbjerg effect right there. Stronger outlets to counter City's aggressive and physical press.
As I said earlier as well, you look back at the game against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth pressed us really aggressively high up the pitch. And we were getting overrun in our own half. Ange didn't need to change that because Maddison had the intelligence to know to drop back, make up the extra numbers, relieve that sort of being pressured scenario. This is why it's so difficult to play against Ange's teams, because either then the opposition have the choice of, do they go with the player that drops deep, like Rodri did with Lo Celso, and leave themselves more exposed to a counter-attack, which happened, and we did manage to exploit it at times. Not as much as we would have liked, but we did. We certainly did against Bournemouth. When Maddison dropped back and we created the overload at the back there, he was able to just rifle out some great passes and get our attacks building. It nullified everything Bournemouth did. We couldn't nullify Man City because it's Man City. And you just you cannot do that. You're just going to concede chances of some sort.
But the thing is, even before City, this style, we concede chances to everybody. Fulham, Palace, Luton, Brentford, United. Everybody gets a little taste of the sugar. It's just a matter of how much home you're going to take with you.
That's what you just have to improve over the course of time, isn't it? You set your stall out. This is how we're going to play. We'll just play it better all the time. Keep improving. Keep buying in players that are going to add to it. And that's as we were saying, 2-3 years time. That's the bit we're getting excited for, because we're not the only ones. There's a large portion of the fan base that can see it with the way forward for this team. It's a really bright future. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun, and I think we're going to be winning things. I really do. It's going to be tough, but I really do feel like we can do it.
I love that, Kuva. Always love having you on. Look, that's going to do it. We are over an hour and a half here on the show, so if that doesn't garner a like from you, I don't know what will, and that's okay. But everyone who did partake in the poll, big up yourself. I see 87 votes, 40% says Immaculate Vibes, win, lose, or draw. I love that in the end, Immaculate Vibes always wins, because that's how I feel. And because at the beginning of the show, about 80% said, I'm already thinking about West Ham. But in second place, 32% already thinking about West Ham. 22% says celebrating the lads mentality still, which is absolutely still a good move to do, in my opinion, because I am enjoying it as well. 6% says, I don't care, to be honest. I'm a rival fan. So big up to the 6% rival fans in the house, letting their voices be heard in the poll. I'm going to go ahead and end it there with 87 votes. I see 74 likes. That is 13 folks that did not like the video. Go ahead.
Very quickly, I forgot to respond to somebody in the chat. They asked me who my favourite player of all time is for Spurs. It's Glenn Hoddle. He was just a genius. Pass master, scorer of spectacular goals. I just thought what he could do with the football was magical. Most fun player, Paul Gascoigne. Close second behind Hoddle. Those
Gascoigne's
two.
are one of those are fun highlights to look at there.
Yeah.
But big up. Spurs as well. There's the link for 3 Spurs boys. Go get them to 1K expeditiously there on the way there. For those of you looking for some more entertainment until American Waffle at the top of the hour, I'm going to go ahead and send y'all on over to Sarcasm City TV with the one and only Flawless. What a great guy he is. Just go over there, say USA Raid, hit a like, and you don't have to stay, but just make sure you know, let him know that I sent you, rather. But that's going to do it, folks. Big up to everyone who was here, and thank you so much for everyone who has hit the like. If you're on playback, make sure you do hit that like. Let's see if we can get the video over 100 likes. That'd be a nice little target for the vibes on the day after. But that's going to do it for episode 107 here of the Untitled series on United Spurs of America. So big up everybody in the chat. Also want to say, as always, I almost didn't do it, but let me make sure I do it. Big up Chang for gifting the 5 memberships to the family. So big up everyone who did get those memberships. Big up J. Cole for the Lone and Solo Super Chat of the day. And then big up to THFC Till I Die Dermot with the Lone and Solo Super Sticker. Super chat and a super sticker and some gifted memberships. What a blessed stream it was. So thank you so much for y'all for those financial contributions, and thank you to everyone who did the free thing, the usual, the easy thing to do, the call of booty as I like to call it. It is free, cost you nothing. It's like grabbing free beer on the way to the party. Just hitting a like, hitting a subscribe, costs you nothing. Does wonders for the channel, i.e. the party. So why not keep the drinks flowing? Big up everybody who has tuned in. So as always, folks, stay blessed, stay fresh, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs.
United Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.